Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's off to a great start today. It's Scone Day. I've been so excited about Scone Day. I love scones. I love scones. I don't know why, but I just love them. And they're so good, and sometimes it's hard to find a good one. And so hopefully you guys will like what I'm doing. Give everybody a few minutes to kind of get settled and make sure you have your cup of coffee or tea, because we are going to have scones, and right, you have scones and tea and scones and coffee together. So I got mine, yay. I've got all of my ingredients. So we're just gonna kind of hang out for a second, let everybody get in and and figure out like what's going on and all that. So I've got my ingredients, and we'll kind of talk through all the stuff. And okay, so let's see. Scone day, scone day, scone day, scone day, scone day, scone day. Okay, I might be a little crazy about scones, but that's okay. I love scones. They're so good. Take notes and make them when we get flour. Yeah, so a couple people have pointed out that there's a little bit of a shortage of ingredients, so I do apologize for demoing and encouraging everybody to help out and all that. And when you might not even be able to find flour or certain basic ingredients, so definitely take notes. We'll do a step-by-step, and then you guys can do it later. So it'll be posted on, this video will be on my Facebook page, as well as my Instagram, my YouTube. I can't keep track of all the social medias. Is virtual taste available yet? I wish, trust me. I need to not have all of this in my presence all the time. And then somebody else had also messaged me about like a dairy alternative. And I'm like, sure, let's try some coconut milk. If you've got some coconut milk, because it's we use cream in this recipe, and it's a high fat content of liquid, right? So coconut milk, I think, would be a good alternative. Don't quote me on that. I would probably experiment with it and see if it works, but I'm thinking that would be a good substitution. So, okay, let's get started. I think everybody's here. So I have a confession to make. Hey, Kelsey. I'm so excited you've been joining me all week. This is awesome. I love this. I'm so excited. Okay, I do have a confession to make, though. I was looking last night, kind of getting ready for Scone Day, and I realized that the recipe that I posted isn't the recipe that I usually use. So, so I was like, oh, kind of deflated. I used to use this scone, the recipe I thought I was sending everybody. I used to use that when I worked as a yacht chef in the Caribbean. And it's I got it from a magazine that I love, Fine Cooking, and they said that it was more of a traditional British scone. So I'm like, oh, I love the British scone, so let's give it a shot. And so I loved it. It was the cream, you whipped it until it got nice and airy, and then that kind of helped to make your scone a little bit lighter, and oh, it was so good. So just like absentmindedly yesterday morning, like typing up my recipe, I did not even pay attention to the directions. I was just doing the ingredients, and I'm like, so last night I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's not the same, but it's still delicious because I baked off some this morning just to make sure that I knew what I was doing, and they are really good. So, so I'm still giving you a good recipe, but it's just not the exact same one that I had. So I had to kind of like figure out what I was doing and getting in my groove and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, so we are going to start. So the first thing is that your recipe called for 9 ounces or 2 cups of flour, okay? So remember, the first thing you want to do is you want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. If you have a convection oven, preheat it to 375, okay? If you don't know if you have a convection oven or not, if you turn it on and there's a big fan sound, that's a convection oven. You want to turn your temperature a little bit lower because the air spreads a lot quicker. It makes it for a hotter oven. So, but otherwise preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Okay? All right. So now we're going to do 2 cups of flour. So remember, like I said the other day, you want to scoop and kind of spread and scrape. Yay. Okay. One more, 2 cups. All right. And now we're going to do a 1/3 cup my measuring cup over there. I'm going to do a 1/3 cup of sugar. And the difference between this recipe and the other one is that other one had a little less sugar and a little bit of honey mixed in. So I will do that one. I will demo that one next week because I just love it. Tablespoon of, I had all my stuff set up and now I don't know where I put it. Where'd my tablespoons go? Oh, right behind me. Okay, tablespoon of baking powder. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right, oops. Don't put that in there yet. Okay. All right, everybody good so far? So, thanks Megan. So you want to whisk this together. Just to kind of incorporate all the ingredients, okay? All right, the next thing is I have already put in my bowl the 2 egg yolks and 3/4 cup of cream, okay? And you want to just scramble this together until it's come together. Okay? All right. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Fruit. If you don't have to do mix-ins if you don't want to. You could add any kind of berries. You could add dried cranberries. Hey, Diane. Good to see ya. Dried cranberries, dried blueberries, dried cherries. You could do chocolate chunks. You could do nuts. You could do anything. So I happened to stumble upon a mixture of dried berries, so which I was like, I gotta give that a shot. So you want to do about 1/2 cup, and you want to pour it into your flour. Okay. All right. So now, let's see. Okay. So now you want cold butter. This is awesome because usually I have to remember to pull out my butter and let it get soft and all that kind of stuff for my baking and all that. But this is nice because I just literally can pull this straight out of the kitchen, refrigerator. That's it. So you want 6 tablespoons. So I have a stick, so I'm just gonna cut 6 tablespoons. Okay. Now you want to cut these into chunks. All right. I'm gonna take my trusty bench scraper, once I can get this paper off. And I am going to see if I can do this to kind of show you. I have all my props so that hopefully you can see this a little bit better. So I'm going to take my bench scraper. You can also take a knife. I mean, don't feel like you have to, be fancy, but I just get all of it done in one fell swoop. So I cut it in half, cut it in half again. So I get 4 little quarters, see? And then I just go down. Okay. Now, this is where it gets to be fun. You want to put your butter in the flour. Okay. Now, you can do one of 2 things. You can take knives or forks. Where did my other fork go? No, sorry, knives. You can take a pastry blender, which is I can't find mine, so it has the little blades. You can use that and kind of mix it. you can take 2 knives and kind of cut like the meat your mom used to cut, right, for you when you were a kid. Or you can do what I love to do. Just go in, man. Just do it. So I go in, and what you want to do is you want to kind of push the flour and the butter together. So you're kind of, I don't know, flaking it, right? This is what basic biscuit and scone making is all about. Is basically coating the flour with the butter. And we're going to do this until all the butter is about the size, shredded into the size of about a flat dime or pea, okay? Like the vegetable pea, right? Not the letter P. I'm so funny this morning. Okay, so this takes a few minutes, right? So if you have questions, feel free to ask. But I'm just shredding this. It's kind of cathartic. I gotta admit, I just kind of like getting like through it, you know, like kind of mixing it. So, and you can kind of feel the flour and the butter coming together. You kind of want to like dig your fingers in through so that you don't have pockets of flour. Like there's a huge part of the flour that hasn't even been touched with the butter. So you want to kind of give it a mix before you start incorporating more butter into it, right? So this is, let's see if there's any questions. No, not yet. Okay, good. So that, hopefully that means that you're following along. So, anybody have a favorite scone that they just love? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to know what your favorite scones are, because then that gives me ideas. You can make savory scones, like cheddar. Oh my gosh, I did used to make, well, they're more technically of a biscuit, but biscuit and scone is more or less the same. It might just be a little less sugar. But I had a bacon scallion cheddar biscuit. Yes, that was awesome. I've made like, you can cook lemon scones are awesome. Lemon and frozen blueberry. Lemon and lavender. Oh, it's so good. This whole lavender thing, like incorporating that into sweets was definitely a new thing for me a few years ago. And I was kind of like, lavender? I'm not sure about this. Like I worked at a bakery and they made lavender lattes, which I was like, I don't know about that, but it was really good. I was really surprised and kind of woke me up to the fact that they used lavender as a baked good. So that one was really good. Never eaten them before, but I think savory cheese would be great. Yeah, it's the bomb. I'm not gonna lie, they're awesome. Maybe I'll demo that sometime too. I'm getting all kinds of ideas because it's scone day. Where do you get lavender? The easiest way is to use an essential oil, but make sure that the essential oil is food grade. That's what I would use. You make it into a simple syrup. You can kind of cook it down with equal parts sugar and water that you heat until all the sugar is dissolved. And then you can add just like not very many drops because it's very strong. But you can incorporate it that way. You can also just get fresh lavender. Probably, I mean, I'm guessing at anywhere that you can get flowers. I guess I'm not a plant person, so I don't always know. But you can you can kind of mince it and mash it and add it to your dough. So, what are you doing with all this food you're making? We now have Rice Krispie treats and 2 cakes. I know, right? I don't know what I'm doing with it. I'm trying to donate it where I can, like on the random times that I have to actually leave. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take, like the cake I demoed on Friday, I took to my chiropractor because I was like, I can't eat anymore. So, yeah, I know, but it's fun. So I'm just not thinking about it. Okay, so now I have my dough, right? Or my butter in my flour, okay? So now you want to take, this is where the real fun comes in. Okay. I'm going to pour my cream and eggs into, okay, so here's where the magic happens, but here's where it's where it can get kind of, where it can get tricky if you're not careful. So once you add liquid to this, it's gonna obviously start coming together. You don't want to work the dough too much, okay? Because then you're gonna have a tougher scone, okay? Same with biscuits. It's like the less you have to work it, the better. So take your fork, and just gently stir until the liquid comes together with the flour, right? So just a couple of mixes. Then you want to obviously get whatever's on the fork off. Okay. So see, it's very loose, right? Now let's get dirty. All right. So you want to take and just gently bring the flour and the liquid together, okay? If you don't like handling this stuff with your hands, you can use gloves. Personally, gloves get in my way. I use them when I have to, but I like to feel it with my fingers. Leave it on a neighbor's porch. Yeah, I could do that, Lisa. I live in an apartment building, and apparently we don't talk to each other. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's a strange little community I have in my building. But yes, that's a great idea. I also thought about, like, I mean, but you're not really supposed to go to these places, but I'd love to, like, deliver stuff to people who, you know, are working and they have to work, and, you know, like at senior living homes and stuff like that. But I don't want to cause, you know, trouble. So still thinking about it. Okay, so I'm almost done here. It's going to be a real shaggy dough, okay? But all the flour at the bottom has still not come together with the rest of it. So there's different variations of scone making. The one we need a drone delivery. Hospitals, yeah, but that's what I was thinking. But I don't know that that's, I could leave it out outside the emergency sliding door. Somebody will find it, right? But anyway, some have you do this on a countertop, like the original recipe I was supposed to post that I didn't. Yeah, call ahead and tell them you're dropping stuff at the front door. Yeah, definitely. So, okay. So I am pretty good here. So it's going to be a real shaggy, messy dough, which is awesome. I'm going to get my baking tray. Hopefully you can see this. All right. Now, I'm going to take what I have in the bowl. And I'm going to put it on a baking sheet that has a little bit of parchment paper, okay? Mail to here. Yeah, well, yeah, I could do that too. At care home, call ahead and tell them what you're doing and ask them if you can drop off. Exactly. So, and these are great ideas for you guys too, which means that you can bake with me every day. Yay! Okay. I'm a little kind of slap happy today, apparently. Okay, so now I have a round, let's see if I can show you. I have a round mound O scone. Now, I want to gently press it out, not too hard, right? The less you work this dough, the better, until it's about an inch, yay, an inch in height, and then it's going to be about a 7-inch round disc, okay? Now, you want, every time I have to use my hands, my nose itches. It's such, I swear to God, it's a curse of a chef. All right. Now, so I have, right, a little bit flattened out, about an inch tall, 7 inches in diameter, right? Okay. I'm gonna take my bench scraper or a knife, and I'm just gonna cut it right in the middle. Okay. And then I'm gonna cut 4 wedges per half. The beauty of scones is not every scone looks the same. They're not identical. You can also, some recipes say not to do it in a disc, but put it out flat, and then you can cut it and have round scones. It's perfectly fine. Okay, so now I have my 8 wedges. 8 wedges, right? Just like a pizza. Now you want to gently pull these apart, and you want to give them about, my first batch I didn't pull them apart far enough, so they all kind of bake together, which doesn't matter, they're scones, I'm still going to eat them. But pull them, you want to put them about an inch and a half to 2 inches apart. Separate them. Like that. Okay. And then you want to take, I forgot to tell you this in the intro, an egg with a teaspoon of milk. Is it a teaspoon? Yeah, I think it was a teaspoon of milk. Maybe a tablespoon. Yeah, we'll say tablespoon. Whisk it together and brush it, and this is called an egg wash, by the way. And brush that on. This is going to help keep your scones from drying out, as well as add a nice golden brown color. All right. All right, you don't have to slather it, just a nice coating. And you'll have a lot extra egg wash if you want to make another batch. You have plenty. And then you can take regular sugar, or I like to take a little raw sugar, just for crunch. Sprinkle it on the top. You don't have to do this part, but it's kind of a nice added texture crunch to your finished product. You could also take sparkling sugar if you happen to have that, or coarse white sugar if you have that. Okay. Oh, I love the smell of raw sugar. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, cool. And then you're gonna pop these in the oven. You're gonna pop these in the oven for about 18 to 22 minutes, depending on your oven. And then when they're kind of like a nice golden brown, you can see these guys, right? Oh, they're so good. You can eat them with jam. If you want to be like the British, eat them with jam and clotted cream. Okay, I know right now finding clotted cream is going to be like next to impossible. But at some point, if you can get your hands on some clotted cream and jam or some butter, oh my God, they're so good. They're so good. So, and if you guys want me to demo another kind of scone, tell me, because I'm all over it. So, but anyway, you're going to bake these for 18 to 22 minutes. Maybe rotate after about 15 minutes or so. So that they kind of get an even brown, or maybe like 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, rotate them. What's the difference in a biscuit and a scone? It's really the ingredients. It's the same technique. Basically what you're doing is you're cutting butter into flour. It's just whatever the difference is of ratios of flour to butter and to there's a lot of biscuits you will roll out. A lot of scones, you're just going to kind of gently handle and cut, okay? So you can translate, have a feeling these scones are not going to make it to the donation box. I don't know what you're talking about. So for like, you might see like savory biscuits that look more like scones. They're savory scones, because biscuits tend to have more of a flake, right? And they may or may not be crumbly depending. A lot of times biscuits also, they add buttermilk to it because that helps to kind of tenderize the dough. I could go on and on. So I love questions like that because I love talking food geek stuff. So anyway, enjoy these guys and show pictures. I want to see pictures of you making them, eating them, sharing them. If you don't share, I don't judge. It's perfectly okay. And if you want more of scone videos, just say yes please, and I will be incorporating it. I think I might do like a weekly scone recipe. Oh yeah, that gives me a chance to play. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you know anybody that would love to do a part of this, or watch this every day, please share from my Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to see people who are looking for some things to do during this crazy time. I would love to do these videos with you. And I mean, I typically do cakes and cupcakes, but I love baking in all capacities. So we will definitely, cheddar bacon, you got it. We'll do some cheddar bacon. Going out for the coconut milk and giving it a try. Yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm very curious if that would work. But I love to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to decorate cupcakes tomorrow. So if your kiddos really want to kind of get in on that, I'll post what you'll need today for tomorrow. Basically, you need some kind of frosting. You can make it from scratch, or if you've got the canned stuff, that's perfectly fine. You need some cupcakes, so maybe whip up a batch from Monday's cake video or out of the box, whatever you guys want. Orange cranberry, we can do orange cranberry. So, and then on Friday we're gonna bake cookies. I'm still trying to decide which recipe to do because I recognize that finding ingredients right now is kind of tricky. So I might do kind of more of a basic cookie, but I really want to do one in particular, but I don't know if that's going to work. So they're not complicated to make. It's just put the ingredients is what I'm trying to be respectful of. So thank you guys. I love doing these. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that you join me for these. I have so much fun with it. So thank you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And eat a scone because it's scone day. All right. Bye, guys.